Hey guys, it's been a little bit since you've seen me, huh? Been really busy, so I've been kind of like not able to, get this whole show on the road with this stuff. But I am back with the update videos now. So I guess how you doing? We're just gonna get this whole update thing started. First and foremost, I apologize for not being able to get the bonus episodes up when I thought I was going to be able to get them up. I wanted to get them up like ASAP once I finished the playthrough. But unfortunately at that point I had a lot of work hours, and throughout the summer I had a lot of work hours, so that didn't really work out too well. But if you've been following me on Twitter, you might know that at this point I actually, for the first time in almost 2 years, I'm actually not on the schedule this week, which is really... It's really something. It's like a weight lifting off your shoulders, you know what I mean? It's really something. So I'll have, some time this week to definitely post that stuff up. So that's going to be all taken care of by the end of this week. So I'll be doing the commentary for one of them tonight. We actually have to film some stuff with the flip, what I'm using this to film this. We actually have to film some stuff for the finale. It's going to be kind of like how in Luigi's Mansion I did the whole finale thing with the face cam. It's going to be similar to that, but not exactly similar to that, I guess you could say. It's going to be something different. It'll be for the respective games and all that stuff, so going to figure out how that whole thing went. Let's see. What else? Oh, well, I mean, if you guys have been, listening up a little bit, I don't know if I've been posting on Twitter. I think I've been posting some stuff on Twitter about it, but I actually got fraps. I put this in the other update videos as well, and I actually got this Xbox controller. Got this Xbox controller because this is the easiest one to just plug into your PC and use with fraps, because I just got XPadder and that sort of stuff. So now I can play any game that I really feel like playing on an emulator with the Xbox controller, because I just set up XPadder and then I set the game up and I can play it. So with all of those elements in place, it's now looking pretty good that I can do like Game Boy games or DS games or something to that effect on emulators. So, or older games like SNES games that aren't on the Wii's Virtual Console or anything to that effect. So that's looking pretty good. I'll probably end up doing some of those at some point, maybe just a test. They're like a whole playthrough, but as a test for that sort of footage. The sun's kind of going down, so I might have to fix the shades here in a minute. But, yeah, so there's that. Oh, and also this video would have been up a little earlier. Sorry for the shakiness there. Kind of just, it's a little dusty on this thing. But anyway, video would have been up a little earlier today, but I was kind of preoccupied because, well, I wasn't preoccupied because this area is not only the place where, I record these videos, these Facecam update videos, it's also the main location of our PS2, one of our PS2s, our PS3, and right now the Nintendo Wii. So it's like basically the gaming hub for a lot of stuff. And I mean, we could move the stuff around so I could do this stuff a little easier, but it was pretty much the location right now because Xia re-rented Saints Row the Third because Mama wanted him to rent it, and she hasn't, we haven't bought it yet, so. And he's been busy on that because he really likes that game, so I kind of had to wait for him to be done, and that took a little while, so that's taken care of. So, there's that. As far as the whole schedule thing goes, I've been thinking a lot about this whole schedule thing and how I can set this up for myself to kind of, make it so that there's a specific schedule of how everything goes up. And I've had, I'm sure if you've been around for long enough, I'm sure you've seen, I've had numerous ideas and none of them have really panned out, I think. But I think right now I actually have one. Now, of course, don't take this, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know if this is going to be truth or if I'm just going to change it at some point once I actually start implementing it. But I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing things in a format based around what time of the year it is, really. Because the way I see it right now is, I've got this thing going on for Halloween specials that I always do in October, and I'll be filming that, starting to record that eventually here so I can post that up. That's probably going to be the next playthrough because I don't want to start anything now because it's going to be blind this next Halloween playthrough, and I don't really know how long the game is myself. I looked it up, but at the same time, since it's blind, I can't really say for sure, you know, hey, it's going to be this long, because I'm doing it blind, so I don't necessarily know if it's going to be, you know, that long for me. So it might be shorter, it might be longer. So I want to make sure I have enough time to do that without having to worry about that stuff. So I mean, I might post something up. I know people have been asking me, you know, for guides on some of the stuff that I do for my playthroughs and all that stuff, and the streaming guide. So I might post some stuff up for that in the time between, or I might save that for just whenever I need some in-betwixt stuff between my playthroughs, because you'll see once I explain the format for you for the time of year based thing. But I digress, I suppose. So essentially what I'm thinking about doing is, I'll just start from where I am right now. Not going to be doing anything specifically for September alone. October would be like the Halloween special month. I would just do something on a Halloween special that month, and I'll figure out what that game is as I go along. Probably those are going to be the ones that have face cam footage to them, because if I get scared shitless, it would be more hilarious if you guys saw me freaking out on camera, I think. So those would probably be the ones where I would actually use this camera to film what I'm doing. So there's that. November and part of December would probably be like time for a short playthrough, like something less than probably 50 parts. Like that's like the maximum would be probably like 50 parts, because the way I see it, I'd get like 30 or 31 parts up in a month. Like I'm going to be posting these parts once a day, every day. So I've got that part down, and I'll post my update videos whenever I feel it's necessary to do that, and that'll probably take the place of the video for that day. So like I might not end up with exactly 30 parts in a month, because if I have a couple of update videos, then I'd end up with 28 parts in a month. But regardless of that fact, you know, kind of do it in such a way that God, excuse me. So October I do Halloween specials. November I would do short playthrough, probably finish it in December if need be. December would be like a winter playthrough, which I don't really own too many winter games specifically, but there are plenty of times in games where there are, you know, winter references, like in Secret of Mana. But if you've never played that game before, then I'll explain that when we actually play that game, which we might do this year. I don't know. We're going to figure out when we play Secret of Mana, but I need to get Xia and Jets on that, so we'll figure that out. But so October Halloween special, November short playthrough, December usually a short playthrough. Probably going to have to do with snowboarding, because I do love my snowboarding. So I will probably play something winter related at that point for a little bit. Then what I'm thinking of for the rest, January, February, and March is not really, like, there isn't really any specific themed thing I can do for that. Like, there's Valentine's Day, but I can only think of one game that I can actually play for Valentine's Day that would make any sense whatsoever. The rest of them would be like stupid dating simulator shit, and I don't really want to do those as playthroughs, because I've never played any of those things. Unless The Sims counts, but I've only played that once. But regardless of that fact, what I was thinking of doing then is that I would take the list of games that I have from the last year, so in this case 2012, when I do it for this coming year, I'd take a list of the games that I have for 2012, and I would play those then, because it's like the games that I missed in 2012 that I wanted to play. Now I can play them, and I can do a full walkthrough of them. And they might be blind, they might not be. It depends on, you know, like if I played them, if they're short enough that I played them during that time or not. So I would probably spend January, February, and March doing that. Now, in this case, it would probably be where I would put the last story, because I was planning on playing that, but then I realized if I started that up, I would have to put that on hold for the Halloween special, and then I would be finishing it up later. So it just seemed weird for me to like do it for 30 days and then take a hiatus on it to do another playthrough for 30 or 40 days, and then put that one on the shelf and do the rest of the game in the remaining 50 or 60 days that I have left. So it just didn't seem to mesh well with me when I was doing my, like, figuring out my schedule for these next parts that I've got. So if I was to do the last story, I would probably save it until January. I definitely do want to do it. It looks like, you know, a really fun game. I'm really enjoying what I'm, you know, seeing of it. I've played a little bit of it, but I haven't played much of it, so... But I've enjoyed what I've seen of it so far. I haven't spoiled myself on anything. I think I've only watched up to like the 3rd chapter of the game, like in some video format on YouTube, because that's where I've gotten, well, me and Xia have gotten through the game as I've played it so far. So I haven't really spoiled myself of anything. So, and I've only gotten scratched the surface of what the game has to offer. So that would be when I would do that. Something else from 2012 I'd want to do. I don't know. I would have to figure it out, but if I wasn't done, if I finished with the last story and March wasn't over yet, then I would, you know, I'd want to do something else from 2012, and I'd figure out what that was, and then I'd get going with that. So that's how that would go. That would be like a short or a long playthrough, basically just take a bunch of games that I missed from the past year, and I would play through them. So that's how I want to do that. April would be the time when I would do my April Fool's playthrough, because something to do with April Fool's is like I did the whole video with the stupid face cam footage of the Impossible Game at one point this year, and it seemed to go over relatively well. So I figure, you know, I'll do something for April Fool's, whether it's just a one-day thing or not. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but if it turns into like a full playthrough type of a deal, that would be kind of cool. I don't know how I would implement that, though. Like, it would have to be some kind of sick joke or something like that. Monochromium plays Slender. No, I wouldn't do that, because that's like Halloween. But anyway, so I'd do something for April Fool's in April, and then if I did something that wouldn't take a month for April, I would take the rest of April, if need be. May, June, July, August, and September would be when I would do like long playthroughs, like most Final Fantasy games. Most of the multiplayer games that we've been talking about doing would probably go in that slot, because that's the best time for us to record that kind of stuff, because that's like the summer, so we're all home anyway, and that would be the best time for us to record that sort of stuff. So basically the rundown would be I'd do games I missed from the previous year for the first 3 months of the year. I'd do long plays for the next, well, I would do an April Fool's type of a deal, and then long plays for the next 5 or 6 months. Do the Halloween special, do a short playthrough, and do a, you know, something for the winter. So that if I take the whole slot of time, that would be 5 projects a year. But I sincerely doubt that I would just do 5 projects a year. It would probably end up being more like 8 or 9 a year if I, you know, did math right and how I have everything planned out and mapped out in my head as it is. So that's the basic gist of the schedule that I'm trying to implement at this point. I would obviously, like I said, I would post 1 video per day every day, except when there were other videos that I wanted to post. Like, I want to do more stuff for Blind Playthrough the series at some point, so if I was to post one of those on a Saturday, which is when that would go up, that would be the video for that day. Like, I wouldn't post an episode of the playthrough for that day. Or if I want to do an update video for a Sunday, which would be what this is, I wouldn't post an episode of a playthrough for that day either. So that's like basically how I'm thinking of doing everything from now on. I'd probably, when I was streaming, I would probably stream stuff in the summer when I'm doing those long plays, because that just seems like the best time to kind of, you know, go ahead and stream stuff. But I'm thinking about that now, and I kind of don't know how much I would actually want to stream stuff, because eventually, you know, I do think that there's going to be ways, whether that's through partnership with a channel that gives you more rights on YouTube or what, that I'll be able to get around the whole copywriting deal. Because, you know, as much as it was fun to play Kingdom Hearts on the stream, I do eventually want to do it for my channel, and that's not possible at this point. But in the future it could be, because, you know, there could be situations. I mean, there might not even need to be a situation. I might just decide, hey, I'm going to play this and see how that whole thing pans out and post a video, and they won't get me with copyright for it, and then I'll just do that, and if they get me with copyright for it, I'll just say, okay, I'll take it down. So, I don't know. It depends on the risk I want to take, but in general, it's going to be 1 video a day, every day, unless there's another type of video that needs to go up that day. Or if I have a freak accident and I die, or come close to dying. But yeah, that would generally be how it would go. And then I would have specific playthroughs planned out for certain parts of the year to kind of make it mesh a little better with, you know, the seasons changing and with the special days that are going on in that time of the year, like Halloween or April Fool's or something to that effect. So that's how I'm generally going to structure that. That was a very long-winded explanation, I think. so I think I'm just going to move on at this point. Yeah, I've gotten a bunch done that I didn't really get done before because I haven't been playing anything really for my channel because I'm kind of just waiting around to start recording the Halloween special. So I've gotten some stuff done that I haven't really gotten done before. I finally finished The World Ends With You because they had the whole solo remix come out recently for the iOS phones, and obviously I don't have an iPhone, so I couldn't get that one. But I finally finished the DS version. It's sitting in my Game Boy, my DS over there, which is a piece of crap. The DS Lite has that whole L button problem, and with, I don't know, somebody I talked to, one of my friends knows the details. He kind of said, yeah, that's common. So the L button doesn't work at all. The R button works just fine. Some parts of it just doesn't work very well anymore. I've had it for years, so it's running on its last legs, and I might need to get an upgrade to a 3DS at some point, but if I did, that would probably be like Christmas time or something to that effect, because I don't want to spend that much money at this point now that I'm out of a job. Essentially, I want to kind of conserve my money, because I'm making just enough. Like, I'll work on Saturdays every now and again for 5 or 6 hours. I'm making enough from that to pay for gas money, so I'm not really going to have a big deal getting to and from school, but I don't want to spend too much money on anything now that I'm, not getting that steady income coming in. So, but I have been finishing some stuff. Like I said, I played a little bit of The Last Story. I've been playing some Spyro lately, on the second game right now. And I played that a lot as a kid. Ripto's Rage was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. It was frustrating as all hell, but it was pretty cool at the same time. So I'm playing some of that stuff. Going to move on to the third one here eventually. And I finished The World Ends With You. I didn't finish the whole thing. There's still the whole missions that you have to do after the whole game is done. And there's the storyline that happens in an alternate timeline or some such crazy thing. But that's based around the stupid minigame of that game, and I don't really want to do that because of that. I don't have a good strategy for that minigame. All I do is spam the bomb attack, so whatever. If you played the game before, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? I'll save it for when I do the playthrough, which I need to get a draw pad for first, so I can kind of like, use the stylus more effectively. But yeah, so I've been doing some stuff. I'm probably going to pre-record the Halloween special as well as most of my playthroughs from here on out, because like the way I see it, it would just make it easier for me if I pre-recorded the stuff, so that way I don't have to worry about, recording it certain days when I might have something going on with school. I can record it on free days when I actually have time, and then I can be ahead of myself, so that way I'll never end up with a spot where I don't have any free time for a couple of weeks because I have a bunch of schoolwork to do, and then I can't record anything, and then I run out of videos in my queue to upload, and then it's just a blank spot again. So I'm kind of trying to avoid that at this point, because I know we've had a lot of blank spots in the past, like pretty much now. So I'm kind of trying to avoid that at all costs if I can. So we're gonna make it through this, and I'm gonna move through all that stuff, figure out what I'm gonna do. I think I have a good idea of what games I'm gonna play for. I know definitely know I'm gonna play for the Halloween special, and that's probably I'm gonna start recording that pretty soon. I'll tell you what that is in a second. I think I know what I'm going to record for the small playthrough that I'm going to do in November and December, and I'm pretty sure, actually, yeah, I know 100% what I would do for the winter playthrough right now. And probably the games I missed from last year playthrough that I do in January, February, March, depending on how long The Last Story is. That might take the whole time. If not, I'll throw something else in there. There's a shorter game that I've heard a lot of cool things about that I might want to play. A couple of them, actually, but I think one of them I need an Xbox for, which I don't have, so we'll figure it out at some point. But I think that's all for this update video. It ran kind of long because I had a bunch of long-winded explanations, but hopefully that lets you guys know, hey, I've been pretty busy, got to keep the income flowing in from summer, but now I'm back, and I'm ready to kind of, well, I'm not really back, because I'm not going to be back until I start the Halloween playthrough, whenever I start that, but I'm mostly back, so I'm going to kind of like, go ahead and do that stuff once I get to the point where I can do that stuff. I don't want to start the Halloween playthrough now, because then I'll be done before Halloween, obviously, because it's not that long of a game. Like, if it gives you, like, the game was like an 11-hour completion playtime when I looked it up, so if it gives me 11 hours, I'm not going to spend 60 videos on it, because that's not 11 hours unless I put, like, 5 minutes in each video or something like that. I'm just guesstimating at this point, but that would be like a 12-hour game, I think, if I did the math right. I don't know. I don't care about math. Anyway, so that's all for me. Sorry it ran a little long this time. I just wanted to let you guys know where I've been and what I've been up to, and how, you know, at this point I'm ready to kind of go and get back to this. I miss doing this kind of stuff because it's like, I think it's cool, so. And you kind of do it for a little while, and then you get used to doing it, and then you don't do it for a little bit, and you miss it, so. I'm going to get back into doing that, but for now, that's it for me. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Probably tomorrow when I post up the first bonus episode, so. Take care. This is what I've been playing with down here the whole time. It's not. I'm not masturbating. I can't get this thing right though on the camera. I gotta like. Nope, that's not gonna do. There we go. See, I got it. Okay, that's enough of that. Ugh.